the National Order of the Legion of Honor was created by Napoleon Bonaparte, then the first consul of France, in May 19th of 1802, as a general military and civil honor order of merit conferred without regard to birth or religion, provided that anyone admitted swears to uphold liberty and equality. The membership of the Legion is remarkably egalitarian. Both men and women, French citizens and foreigners, civilians and military personnel, irrespective of rank, birth, or religion, can be admitted to any of the classes of the Legion. Admission into this order requires 20 years of civil achievement in peacetime or extraordinary military bravery and service in time of war. Now, Sergeant Mitges was 22 years old. He was a reconnaissance sergeant for his troop that was part of the 18th Field Company, Royal Canadian Engineers. He landed with the Nova Scotia Highlanders, and those that know French geography, please excuse my butchering of the language, Bernay-sur-Mer, before noon on June the 6th. The squadron was with the 9th Brigade that passed through the beachhead that had been created by the 7th and 8th Brigades. The beachhead was extremely congested at that time, and the rally point was Bernay-sur-Mer. Once the brigade had started pushing out of the beachhead, the task of John's platoon was to destroy obstacles and clear mines along the route of advancement. His role as a Reci sergeant was to move out the lead troops and send information back to the troops about the engineering tasks that would have to be worked on. There was heavy fighting all into the first night, with advances that halted north of Caen. When the advance continued over the next several days, Sergeant Mitges continued his Reci tasks in support of the lead elements of the battalion. On the 11th of June, he was wounded in the head, chest, and leg, and was evacuated to a field hospital on the beach where he was treated for 10 days. Recovering, he hitchhiked back to his unit instead of going back through the normal channels because he didn't want to get hung up in an infantry unit on the way back. Sergeant Mitges stayed with the 18th Field Command as they advanced across the Rhine and all the way to the Baltic coast, where the unit became the primarily involved in mine clearance. The Germans had resorted to laying sea mines in the ground, as that was all they had left towards the end of the war. It was during the clearing of one such mine on the last day of the war that he was again wounded in the leg after the mine detonated while his team was too close to it. He was evacuated to the hospital at Mayo, France, and was later rejoined his unit and returned to England. He continued in returning to Canada in December 1945, was transferred to a small permanent force posted at the Royal Canadian School of Military Engineers in Chilliwack. And in 1947, he was one of 3 Reci personnel seconded to the United Kingdom, where he qualified as a glider pilot. And with his new qualifications under his belt, John was posted to the Canadian Joint Airborne Training Center in Rivers, Manitoba, where he did a considerable amount of gliding training and indoctrination of flights of parachute training students. And it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. It is our absolute pleasure and honor, representing the Governor-General of Canada. I've asked Councillor Villeneuve to be with me, representing local government, and together it is our absolute pleasure. Now, as you can see, John is not with us. He unfortunately is in the hospital recovering from pneumonia, but his son Mark is with us, and his wife, and to them we give this great honor.
One last word.